Yeah.
All right. We are live, and we have with us a very, very special guest, a good friend of us. Macho, of course, is here as always. He's like the toadstool on the side of the tree. He's always there.
Yeah.
And we also have with us Douglas Garrett, the fourth. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
What?
Doing great.
Well, it's really great to have you, and I'm glad you could join us on short notice tonight. Basically, tonight's going to be just talking, about all kinds of geeky stuff. I'm going to be working on Hero and drawing some things, and Macho is going to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And we've got this thing that we think is kind of funny, and it's basically hashtag Ask Macho Anything. And so if anybody out there wants to ask Macho a question, you just ask away, and don't worry about if it's a little bit personal. I mean, don't get crazy, keep it pretty normal, but you can ask Macho some very interesting things and he will answer. Right, Macho?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll absolutely. If there's a limit to what I will answer. If you get to that limit, I'll let you know. But if it's within reason, I will answer it.
So push the limits, folks. That's basically what he's saying.
Oh, well, look, we're already getting some questions. So we have both
nice.
Tyler Carpenter in the chat, and
what
our
up,
boy
Tyler?
Steptanov 709
what
in
up,
the chat.
Hey guys.
And Tyler already asked, was there a time in your life, Macho, when you had hair? And there was a time where I had hair. I still have. You can see probably I have like the horseshoe going on right here. See that? You guys see it? Well, so
that's not much.
When I was, let's see, I was probably like 20 or 21 when I first like shaved my head, and it was because I was dating my now wife, and I was like doing my hair up all these ways because I was going bald very early. Like I was 16 and going bald. Like male pattern baldness in my family is no joke. And so I was like trying to, like comb it different ways, like doing a comb over it. Like I was like 17 or 18 years anyway. And my girlfriend at the time, wife now, was like, you're not fooling anybody. You need to cut that off. And so we went to Walmart because it was like, you don't need a fancy barber to shave your head, and they shaved it all off. And then I've been bald ever since. And most people in my life know me as a bald man, and they're like, I can't even imagine you with hair. So that's it.
Hey, wait, we got to pause here for just a second, and we got to say congratulations to Tyler. He made an announcement today on Twitter, and that dude is going to be a Papa Bear.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Tyler. That is amazing.
Yep. Happy for you, man.
That's awesome.
A couple of coming or saying this as a dad. You will in your future. I know this is a fact. You will become your most angriest you've ever been in your life, and you will also be the happiest in your life. And they both might even be in the same day. So enjoy that. It's coming. Just wait for it.
Yes, I agree with all of that. And I would add that it is the most rewarding thing that you'll ever do in your life as well.
Sure is.
But you will be driven crazy.
Yeah, you'll slowly, or maybe quickly, depending on how many kids you have.
Macho used to be a pretty cool guy. If that tells you anything, Macho used to be pretty cool.
Used to be cool.
Look at him now.
I'm just a bald guy sitting alone in my basement.
Yeah, he's just escaping children. That's all. That's his whole day is just escaping kids. That's it.
You won't like. I lock the door when I go to the bathroom, and it's so I can be in a room by myself, like in just a single room with nobody else. and there's still like hands banging on the door the whole time. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Seriously, it is a lot of fun.
All right, I'm going to switch over to draw mode here, and I'm going to let you guys kind of take it away. I'm going to get to work.
So remember, ask Macho anything, please. I'm open for whatever. All right, so there's a lot of stuff. We're going to try a little bit of a new format, I guess, for the show. Tyler's got to bounce. Long live Hero. He says he's getting back next week. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your help.
Love you, bud.
And been working on some updates for that 2-pager. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let you know when I get some like definite info. So anyway, cool. Yeah. So we have a little bit of. We're gonna try something new. Doug's probably gonna join us when he can for some of these streams coming up. We like having him on the show and having somebody else to bounce ideas off of. But there's a couple new things that we thought we'd do and kind of like do something a little regular. Have some things that are going to happen every week. And one of those is obviously every week you can ask Macho anything. But I'm going to subject myself to reading terrible comics. And I'm going to give you guys reviews on terrible comics. So I'm kind of excited about that a little bit. Excited and sad at the same time, but it'll be interesting to do. And then we're gonna have we're gonna talk about current events, usually probably in comics and pop culture. And if we have a guest, we'll obviously go over our guests' stuff. So
the reading terrible comics thing.
Yeah,
it is basically somebody can suggest a book that they hate that they want you to read.
Yeah, it's gonna be Marvel. Like I can potentially get other like DC or Image or whatever, but I do have a Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I can get anything pretty much.
So let's keep it Marvel then. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll probably keep it Marvel, and it's not going to be real hard to find some bad stuff. I don't think.
Yeah.
There's some really terrible stuff in like the 70s and 80s and 90s. And there's some also really terrible current stuff. So there should be no shortage of material.
Well, what I think is going to be interesting is they're going to give you a book that you're supposed to hate and you're going to like it because in some ways you have really bad taste.
Yeah, that's true too.
I guarantee you that's going to happen. Somebody's going to say, "Hey, you read Squirrel Girl, ha ha ha," and you're going to come back and be like, "That was a pretty good issue of Squirrel Girl."
I'm gonna be like, "Listen, guys."
He's gonna be like, "Hey guys, Squirrel Girl's my new favorite."
I don't know if I'll go that far, but I'll be like, "Listen, guys, Squirrel Girl, she's misunderstood." All right, no, that probably won't happen. But I will take by the end of this chat tonight. If anybody wants to throw some issues at me, I will. Next time we go live, whenever that is, Sunday, Monday, something like that. I will have read whatever comic this is, and I'm gonna come back. It'd be fun to have like a label for the segment. Like it's like Macho's Cliff Notes, comic Cliff Notes, or something like that. And I'm just gonna tell you about the story, like the general idea of the story and why I think it's good or bad. So anyway, if you have a comic, please suggest it. But I was thinking, since we are starting off tonight, we'll start off with some current events or news section. And the Spider-Man trailer dropped. Doug, you said you saw it. I know Mutt saw it because he sent it to me and said it just dropped. So just quick thoughts. What did you think about it? Like just straight away.
I thought it was awesome.
Okay, cool.
I really did.
What was your favorite thing about that section or that trailer?
From what I got from the trailer, Peter Parker is striving to be the new Iron Man.
Mm.
You see him looking around. He notices, this huge gap that Tony's left, and he knows what Tony did for him because of Endgame, obviously. And that to me, that just set up the whole movie for me. I believe Spider-Man's going to be going places in these new movies.
Cool. What about you, Mutt? And also, by the way, if you haven't seen it, You can mute us or bounce, but we're not gonna. I mean, it's the trailer, so we're not talking anything. There are some things in it that could potentially be very spoilery, but I don't think it's gonna ruin anything if you hear it. So, what did you think, Mutt?
I liked the trailer a lot, and I was actually surprised because I thought that I would not be into this movie. Because after the last one, I liked the last one on my first view, but then after I sat with it for a while, I was kind of like, well, like what are they going to do next? And of course, they went and killed off Peter Parker and then brought him back, and I was really wondering how they were going to kind of come back from that, and especially with the first trailer. Showing you a little bit about Magneto, I was kind of thinking like, I don't know.
Magneto.
I'm sorry, sorry, Mysterio.
You meant Mysterio.
Mysterio, yeah. And
we know what you mean. Okay.
And Jake Gyllenhaal, not a huge fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, so I was kind of like, whatever. But I really liked the trailer.
Nice. Yeah, I liked it too. I actually thought Jake Gyllenhaal was a good cast for Mysterio. I thought he looked good. I mean, like Mysterio he's kind of, you don't obviously don't see him that much, but I thought he was fine. I don't really have any major opinion either way on him. I will say I like the trailer a lot. The first one I watched, the first Far From Home trailer, I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're gonna hit, what I want to see in it. But the second one I thought looked great. Actually, the action looked really good. They've put more action in the trailer. You get a little bit more about Mysterio. All the suits and stuff looked really good.
Mysterio looked great. He looked legit.
Yeah, when they showed him with the dome on his head, big fishbowl, he looked really good. So yeah, I liked it. I'm actually really looking forward to it now, more so than before. And my favorite scene of the whole trailer was when I guess it was Peter ran by and punched Flash in the balls. Did you see that part? It was so funny. It's classic.
A little high schooly, which was
good.
Exactly.
So that made me laugh. But so there were some things that were kind of spoilery in that trailer.
Yeah.
One of them was the M word got dropped. Multiverse. What'd you guys think about that?
Well, that's kind of that's where they're at now. Like once you see Endgame, they're in a you've left the Marvel universe in a situation now at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ancient One said it was going to be that way, and it is.
Well, but so the thing was, in the movie, she says that if you take the stone, it creates a branching timeline.
Right.
And the only way, I guess she doesn't say the way to fix it, but she says the stone needs to kind of come back to the moment that you took it so that you will keep that timeline from experiencing terrible, like having a terrible future, right?
Right.
So I guess that has created timelines because they've taken them, and now like the stones are back because Cap brought them back, but like what has those alternate timelines? Like obviously Mysterio is from one of them, I assume. Like where
that's what Nick Fury says.
Yeah,
in the trailer,
he's from Earth, but not our Earth.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But we all know Mysterio from the comics never told the truth. So
that is true.
Like a lot of people were mad because they were like, I don't like Mysterio being a good guy. It's like, we don't know that he is a good guy.
Yeah, he's not going to be a good guy for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he's going to be a bad guy. He's doing something that is a ruse,
Yeah. His he looks legit. I did like his when he's shooting his little green Doctor Strange looking things out. They look sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing all this stuff. He's obviously the master of manipulation, but like, how is that gonna, what's that gonna translate to? Is it that all gonna be illusion, or is some of it gonna be the real deal, or what? I'm interested to see.
Yeah, I mean, in the comics, he can make you think that some huge, massive thing is happening, and none of it is.
Right. Yeah.
So he is the master of illusion.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that's kind of what's happening. He is the master of illusion. He's making people think these things are happening, but they're actually not happening.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. There's something else I can't remember. I needed to watch the trailer again before we talked, and I didn't do it. But there's something else that was happening. There was another spoilery spot that I just can't remember what it is now.
Oh, it's MJ.
Yeah, MJ. Yeah, that's what it is. And
Yeah,
she knows.
Yeah, she's like totally like, and you know, spoiler if you don't want to hear this, but she says, "Oh, you're Spider-Man." Like
She didn't even say, "Oh," she's like, "You're Spider-Man." He's like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
She's like, "Come on, it's kind of obvious." And I think it'll make more sense in the movie when we see like the context of that conversation, because it's probably after, you know, something happens and Peter's disappeared and everybody's saved and then he's back and whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of a pro MJ knowing he's Spider-Man.
Well, but in the context of them having a relationship, right? Like if that's really Mary Jane Watson or whoever that's supposed to be now in this universe, then they need to be like, he only lets people know his secret if they're, you know, the real Spider-Man only lets somebody know his secret if they're intimate. Mm-hmm. So it could be it really could be just kind of a trailer trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
They've been pulling those trailer tricks on some of these things where they make you think something else, and they I
kind of like it. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like that they do some of that stuff because you don't know what to expect.
The most obvious one that I can remember was when they had the character, the Hulk running, and he wasn't there.
Yeah,
actually in the movie.
How about Fat Thor? They did that too for Endgame.
Man, don't get me started on Fat Thor. That's ridiculous.
Thorbowski, the big Thorbowski. That's pretty good.
What'd you think about Endgame, Doug? Yeah, I haven't talked to you about it yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, there was a few cringy parts. I don't even like to say the word cringy, but they deserve the word cringy. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
Well, tell me, what was your cringy parts? What was the most cringy parts for you?
Well, the part where all the females just had their girl power moment. that was really cringy. Because you've got them all fighting side by side, you know, and it was great. It didn't matter, you know, they didn't matter. Then all of a sudden you've got these characters who've never talked to each other before, but because they're female, apparently they had some kind of telepathy that let them all know that, hey, we got to go over here and help Captain Marvel, who's the most powerful being in the universe. It's just kind of cheesy. Man.
It was so cheesy. And what's funny is where me and Macho were seeing it, there was an eruption of blue-haired feminazi. It was so loud. It almost tore the roof off. So that made that scene even more cringy for us.
Yeah. Yes.
In my town, most of the people didn't even go see Captain Marvel, so they didn't really even care who she was.
Yeah, we heard "Yes, Queen." Slay.
Yes, Queen.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is like a cartoon." I mean, the cartoon of these people has come to life, and it's real right in front of us.
We were 100% surrounded. It was very strange to see a Marvel movie, and be surrounded by like. I mean, it's not unusual to have like women or girls or whatever there. But that specific demographic of women and girls, it was a lot. And like I've said this before, like if like, you know, women or ladies want to see these movies, like I'm really happy that that's a segment of the population that's getting into comics, but not at the expense of like of just tearing down everything that I love either. So that's kind of where I'm sitting on all that.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, like I don't even care really about what they do because I feel like there's already been enough. There's already been enough sort of like messing with classic characters to the point where it's there's nothing sacred about Marvel anymore. So for me, like I don't know, man. I'm just ready to move on. Like I could literally say, you know, hey, I'll watch a couple Marvel movies, but I'm not such a fanatic like I used to be about Marvel. You know, I'm ready to move on with Hero and you know, things like Lone Wolf and those kinds of properties are way more interesting to me now than those big mega properties.
Yeah, like when we were talking about, you know, you guys were talking about the first time you saw the first trailer for the new Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely done. I saw that and I was like, well, I might see that when it's on, like when I can stream it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had no interest. And with this second trailer, they completely pulled me back in. But like as far as like seeing, I have no interest in seeing Captain Marvel 2 or the next Black Panther. You know, all that stuff to me is just kind of over with.
Yeah.
If they build a new Avengers team around this new Spider-Man and they bring in some other old classic characters who have been in the Avengers, because you know there's been some really good Avengers lineups that aren't the classic Avengers. I'll be okay with that, and I'll go watch it. But I feel the same way. It's like the excitement's kind of dying down for me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you, Doug, on the Spider-Man. Like at first, I was kind of like, This one, the trailer did make me more excited. Like I'll plan on seeing that movie in the theater. And there's plenty of Marvel properties that they can do correctly, and they probably will. They're gonna have some hits. Like they're gonna have some really great hits that I'm gonna love. But they're also gonna have some that I will probably not go see. Excuse me. And I didn't see Captain Marvel in the theater. I plan on watching it at some point, and it's probably fine. But it's not one that I'm going to pay, you know, $11 for or whatever to go see a movie. If they redo X-Men,
I made a bunch of people mad because I actually went and saw it.
Yeah, I remember you said that you went and saw it. And it's like I don't care if anybody wants to go see it, it's fine. Like I said, I didn't feel like going to the movie and seeing it, but I'll rent it. I'll probably pay, you know, $4 or $5 and rent it, and my daughter will probably want to see it, and that's fine. But yeah, I think like if they do X-Men and they do X-Men right, like take my money, it's fine. If they do a Fantastic Four movie, I'll give it a shot.
I don't know about that.
What do you think? What do you? I'll probably give Fantastic Four a shot if they do it. I mean, obviously we need to see a trailer first, right? But it might be good. You never know.
I just have a heartbreaking. What'd
you say, Doug?
How do you guys feel about the first Fantastic Four movie, the one that Fox did?
Oh, I liked
the first one.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked the first one. Yeah, it was campy, but it was good.
It was campy, but you know there wasn't nobody else really doing that at the time, and I enjoy it. I still enjoy it.
I like Michael Chiklis as a thing.
Yeah, you couldn't. Man. That was the best casting ever, man.
Yeah, it was good.
They just had a rubber suit. That's the only problem with that. Is this the special effects had not caught up with a with a Fantastic Four story,
right?
You know.
Well, see, I feel like we're at that point now because when I watched Captain Marvel, the special effects were great. You know, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think if they take Fantastic Four in the direction of it being super science, and you know how they always went, what was it? Was it the negative zone?
Yeah, negative zone.
Yep.
Yeah, like do a story like that and just use all the special effects. Just blow your whole budget on special effects.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be great.
Well, I just want to see Galactus done right, and I think that's what everybody wants to see. They needed redemption on Galactus.
I agree. And Silver Surfer, that was the worst Silver Surfer.
He like I thought he looked good, but the whole like going through the board thing and there's some other weird stuff that I wasn't a fan of. Like if you look at I saw something recently, and it was like set photos, and it was a practical effect. Like the actual makeup was incredible, but yeah, I mean Galactus was a big gray swirly cloud. Like it was awful.
Oh, dude, I'll never forget leaving the theater after that movie because I was so excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Because the hype around it was huge, and the first one was really everybody mostly liked the first one from what I remember.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I got there to the theater and watched that. I was so mad. The only time I've ever been more angry leaving a theater after a movie is when I watched the Indiana Jones 4.
Oh, yeah, that one hurt.
That one hurt bad.
I tell you what hurt. What hurt was Superman Returns.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't see it in the theater. I didn't see it in the theater.
It was a terrible movie, definitely. But I like that one scene though that kind of kind of saved that movie was because I'm not a huge Superman fan, honestly. But for me, the airplane scene was so good.
Oh yeah. It was great.
That kind of salvaged some of that movie for me. It kind of was like, well, it wasn't a great movie, and it was weird how he was like a peeping Tom,
sitting in the tree.
Yeah, Brandon Ruth just kind of like floating and just looking in on this poor family who had no idea.
Yeah,
that was so weird.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Superman specific. I get why Superman is a great and beloved character, and I like the character a lot, but I just wasn't ever deeply into him as a character for me when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
There still needs to be a really, really good Superman movie, I feel like.
Did you like Man of Steel at all?
I guess Man of Steel is all right. Yeah, I haven't seen it. How old is that movie now?
That's
like
real.
10 years old? Is it 10 years old yet?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna find out what year Man of Steel came out.
I like Zod in that movie. But
getting up there, man. Oh, did I robot out?
You still there, Dan?
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Are we done? Wait, there we are. Did I robot out? Am I dead?
No, you're still there.
All right, cool.
Sepp says, he says, Superman Returns made me mad. Lois was a liar.
Yep.
And Brandon Roth could have been great with a better script. Yeah.
Have you seen? There's you guys ever watch Mr. Sunday Movies? You know who that is? Doug.
I'm gonna have to turn my camera off. For some reason, my internet is dying on me.
Yeah, it's all good. Have you seen Mr. Sunday Movies? You familiar with him?
No.
So he's this Australian guy, and he's absolutely hilarious. He has a fantastic YouTube channel and a great podcast. And I've been listening to him for a long time, but he did this estimation count on how many people died in Man of Steel when Zod and Superman were throwing each other through buildings, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, those DC movies are dark. They're definitely too dark for those characters.
Yeah,
I do like Shazam pretty well, though.
Oh, I really want to see Shazam. I really, really want to see Shazam, and it just has not worked for me.
Yeah, this is one thing I'll say. They promote it as a family movie, and it's a fun movie to see with your family. But there's some parts in it that I thought were a little too violent and maybe a little bit too dark.
Gotcha.
They might should have cut. So if you're thinking about taking your little kids, you might want to watch it first and judge if it's okay.
I think my wife and I are just going to go on a date because she really wants to see it too. So we're just going to try and go enjoy it together. I am going to take my daughter to see. So I think you may or may not know, my daughter broke both of her wrists, and I believe my wife's boss was like, "What can I get her? I want to get her something." And I think he got her tickets, movie tickets, so she can go pick what she wants to see. And she says she wanted to see Endgame, so we might get to see that again. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really want to see the movie again. I need to get Shazam. There's a bunch of stuff on my list, man. Did you see Alita at all?
Yeah, I watched that. I thought it was great.
I thought it was a great movie. I can't wait for her to see that, because that's a perfect. I mean, like there was no like the romance wasn't too heavy, or like there's nothing sexual in it. There's nothing like it was just like a really good action packed like crazy movie. It was just fun, imaginative.
Yeah, I actually got my mom and dad to watch it, and they both really, really liked it. It kind of surprised me. You know, I think it's one of those movies. It's kind of way out there because, you know, it's based on an anime, but it's just it's solid all the way through. Great action, good story.
Yep. I brought my wife. We just had we got like 3 or 4 hours freedom from our children for a little while, and I was like, let's just go see a movie. I want to see a movie. And she's like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And we went and saw it. And she told me after, she's like, I really didn't want to see it, but you really want to see it, so I thought it'd be cool. And she's like, I absolutely loved it. And she does like action movies. Like, she, you know, don't judge her too harshly. She loved like the whole Fast and Furious franchise, which I love too. Not to her level. She thinks those are like fine films. But you know, they're action, they're fun, they're a good movie experience. So anyway, but she loves that stuff. Anything with Marky Mark minus Transformers, she usually likes. She thinks like, have you ever watched that like Four Brothers movie? She loves that movie.
Yeah, I like that movie. It's all right.
That's a good movie. Yeah. So anyway, maybe she just likes Marky Mark. That's probably true too. But
she does like her some Marky Mark.
She likes some Marky Mark and some Vin Diesel for some reason.
Vin Diesel, who is the same character in every movie except for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Is he still doing that role?
Yeah, he's still doing it.
Really?
Yeah, they just pitch effect his voice, but if you look at the end of the credits, it still says Groot is Vin Diesel.
Why would you even do that if you're him? I mean, he could do anything.
Whatever. He is making bank on that. Why would you not do it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess
he gets to go. He was at like the end game, like red carpet thing with this terrible looking, disgusting looking vest on that was like dressed. It looked like Groot. It looked like he skinned Groot alive and was wearing his carcass.
All right, I got some questions that I want to ask. Since we've got a guest on our panel, I'd like to know some things about Doug. Doug, do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, you're a well-fed fella, aren't you?
Yeah, too well fed, if you ask the doctor.
So, about how big a boy are you?
I am over 300 pounds.
Good.
And I'm 6'1".
How tall did you say?
I look like a brown bear.
Okay, so being that size, I would like to know. I just got a couple questions. First of all, do you think if you had to, if we put you in a pit with a black bear, do you think you could handle it? Could you come out of the pit alive? I'm talking about two go in, one comes out. We'll throw it.
You know, I think it could. I think it could.
Well, you mean?
Do you think hand to hand, or would you need a weapon like a knife?
Well, I'd go hand to hand with it.
All right, cool.
All right.
He'd probably run from me. I'm probably bigger than most black bears I've seen.
Yeah, but let's say it was a mama bear, and the
I wouldn't go in no pit with a mama bear.
If you had to go, and there was a cub up above the pit that the mama bear was trying to get to, life or limb, what's going to happen?
Well, I'd fight at the best of my ability, but there's nothing more dangerous than a mama bear.
Okay. Well, okay. What about?
All right.
What about we give you a knife in that situation?
I think I could take it.
I like it.
I like your confidence, man.
All right. What about?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What about? There's a hold on. Actually, go ahead, Mutt. I need to perfect my question. I want to say
Well,
this right.
I'm still on the
think about
animal
this.
thing. I'm still on the animal.
Yeah,
thing.
go for the animals. Go for the animals.
So now, Doug, you live way out in the woods, right? I mean, you live pretty far out.
Yeah.
You live where most people probably like. You walk outside and you see mountains and trees. Is that correct?
Yeah, mostly just trees.
Okay. So now, if you were to be in a pit and you had a knife and we put 2 wolves in there, you against 2 wolves, who's coming out?
I'm still gonna bet on myself there. If Liam Neeson could take on some wolves, I can do it.
And Liam Neeson he didn't have nothing but broken bottles.
That's right. You give me a big old knife, and I can take on some wolves.
You'll come out of there with some wolf skin on.
Now you'd see me running through the woods, and I'd have one of those like a coonskin cap, except it's made out of wolf hide.
I love it. I love it. I love the confidence, man. I love it. All right, Macho, go ahead.
Oh man, I was looking up some animals, like people versus animal stuff. All right, how about if you were in that same pit, you have no weapons. Oh man, we got the one and only R2D2 for life in here.
You are kidding.
Don't bring a knife to a wolf fight. All right, so what if you're in a pit, and we know you can now take down a black bear and 2 wolves. What if you're in a pit and there were like, let's see, maybe like 150 like pugs, all right? little pugs.
150?
And they're all
that's a lot of
pugs.
pugs.
There's like 150 pugs, okay? And you're in this pit.
You
like
smell
pugs like what? Like
bits.
10 to 12 pounds maybe, right?
Yeah.
You think you could take down 150 pugs?
I think I could because they couldn't breathe. Their nostrils are so small.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I was trying to think of a small dog.
Oh.
Pug's probably a bad one. I needed something small that was like, and that was the only thing I could think of in that size range.
If you filled it full of chihuahuas, I'd obviously die because that would be like piranhas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's my only weakness, chihuahuas.
What about like a chimpanzee, like an angry chimpanzee monkey?
Ooh, that's a good one because they're stronger than they look.
Yeah,
they're like wicked strong. There's 2 things actually 3 animals I really don't like. I don't like monkeys.
Yeah,
that's the whole family there: apes, monkeys, all that. I don't like horses, and I don't like sharks. So if I was in a pit with a monkey, I'd be trying to find some way out.
Yeah.
Or hopefully he would find a way out because they can climb really good.
Yeah. So a couple things about chimpanzees. I don't like them at all, and I made the mistake one time of telling my father-in-law that, like, because my wife tells a story about this. She saw on like Oprah or something, and this lady had this pet chimpanzee, and it attacked her friend that had come over, and it like ripped her like the bottom half of her jaw, like ripped it off of her face, right? And they're telling the story of this lady, that's terrible.
Terrible.
And I have this like terrible phobia of that. Like every time I see one, I just like get the willies or whatever. So my father-in-law, I mistakenly told him that this incompetence, and he lets me hear about it like literally every time we're together, about how he's like, oh, Dan didn't like monkeys or whatever. So I hate chimpanzees. I would never go anywhere near a chimpanzee. The other thing, this is a true story. All right, you're gonna hear first. But one of my best friends growing up, we're talking about fighting animals. This is back when it was legal to do so. He worked for a circus, like a traveling circus, and his name's Roger. And so Roger works for this traveling circus, and his gig in the traveling circus was he was the chimpanzee boxer. Okay. And he went in like dressed up like a boxer. He didn't have a shirt on. He had boxing gloves and shorts on and stuff. And they had this giant cage car that he would go into.
This is not true. You're telling one.
This is a 100%. I've seen the video footage. they put him in this this train car like cage, and they'd have a chimpanzee with boxing gloves on his hands and feet.
That's crazy.
And he'd fight the monkey. And he said every once in a while he'd get a good hit on the monkey. And he said, but when he hit the monkey, it would it's like its eyes would go red, like instant kill mode on Spider-Man. And he said the monkey would beat the piss out of him. Like he said, there's so many nights that he could barely walk back to his bed because the monkey beat the crap out of him.
No, wait a minute.
That was his gig, though.
Do I know this guy?
Maybe you've met him. I mean, he was one of my best buddies' dads growing up, and like I grew up with his story, and I didn't believe. We thought he was making this stuff up, and he showed us 35 millimeter footage that he had transferred to like a DVD of him fighting this monkey, and it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. And the monkey would, if he could get his boxing gloves like off of his feet or whatever, he was like, you were in trouble, because he could get on top of the cage and hang upside down and just like wail on you.
I just don't believe that. Surely that's not true. Surely they wouldn't do that.
It is 100% true. I will put money on it. It is true.
All right, I have another.
They did do that up until probably the early 70s or mid 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like 60s or 70s he was doing it.
Well, I know a guy who was a bear fighter. He would fight a bear. I think it was a trained bear. But
yeah.
But I know he was telling the truth, and it was back in the 70s. That he would put like he would put
Do I know this person?
No, you don't know this guy. And he would put like some kind of like wrestling outfit on, and he was part of the circus or something. He was with the circus.
Yes. He's probably with my buddy's dad, Roger. They probably were roomies or something.
No, this guy's name was Jimmy. We called him Uncle Jimmy. But he was an insane person anyway. But he told us about first of all, he was a part of the Hells Angels for a while, and then he joined the circus.
Oh, gosh.
And he would wrestle bears. And he said sometimes
they got some stories.
Oh, he told us all kinds of stories. But he would say that he told us that the bear would get, was just so strong, it was ridiculous, and it would get unruly sometimes, and it would really hurt him. So they would have to put that thing in, zap it and put it in the cage. If it started to like really want to maul him.
That's crazy.
Man. Yeah.
All right.
And ever since, I mean, thinking about fighting a monkey in a cage, I'd ball up in a fetal position and protect my face.
If I had a knife, I could do it. I believe in myself with some kind of a weapon. I believe my ingenuity would win over an animal.
Those monkeys have their brain. They've turned off the part that stops that. Like, so Hero in our book, he doesn't have that filter that stops like the power that you're able to output from the human body. And it's the same thing with those monkeys. They can just I bet those monkeys would be able to take you down even if you'd have to have a sword, a cutlass or something.
All right, you're missing some stuff in the chat. You're missing some stuff in the chat, and that I need you to read.
Hashtag kill mode. Did Robert have a Dastardly Dan stash? Who's Robert? Roger, I think. Roger may have had a Dastardly Dan stash. I hope you enjoyed that. Those pictures of me.
Oh, that
Team
really...
Hero supports animal cruelty. Bleeding cool article published tomorrow. No, do not say that. In no way do we support animal cruelty.
Well, not cruelty, but just embarrassment and humiliation, not cruelty.
They'll do a hit piece on me tomorrow about me wanting to beat up bears and stuff.
It's all. Remember, Mutt's the one that thought of this, so we can blame it on him. We have
I'm just asking questions that any normal person would ask.
Yeah, this is typical guy night situation. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, I think I could take on it. Yeah, I could take on a beer.
All right, let me ask you another question, and this is for Dan, and it has to do with the Sean question here.
All right.
Do you agree? Do you agree on camera, live on YouTube? Do you agree that if we hit the $5,500 stretch goal, that you will grow out the dastardly Dan.
Oh man.
Or do you need more? I mean, how much pain is it going to cause in your in your life?
I may or may not be out on the couch for a while if I grow that mustache back.
How much money do you need to grow that thing back out again? If we hit
man,
what?
Let me see. Let me think about it. So 55 is where Vegas is doing color.
Yeah.
Right. So
like at
let's say
7,000, we're putting extra content in.
Yeah. I mean, how about oh man, why am I saying this?
I'm so glad you're here for this, Doug.
If we make oh geez.
Come on, man.
If we make $6,500, if we make $6,500, I will grow that stash out. But I'm not gonna grow it out for like a year. It might not be that long.
At least 6 months.
Yeah, maybe
right?
Something like that.
Well, you have to get at least 6 months growth before you can make it curl up like that.
I can grow that mustache fast. I'm really good at growing hair on my face, not on my head, but on my face.
All right, regardless of how long it takes, you've got to be able to curl it. That's the whole thing.
All right, jeez. My wife's gonna hate me.
All right, everybody heard it here first.
6,500.
65. Man, you went cheap. I didn't even think you'd go that cheap. I'm glad you did, though. That's going to be so
lucky
fun.
I'm not loaded. I would just go and donate that right now.
Hashtag stash cash.
That is the number one hashtag. It'll be right beside Ask Macho Anything and then hashtag stash cash.
Until hero is fulfilled. Oh man, yeah, that might have to be something like that. I mean, I could probably, maybe I'll just start growing it. Maybe just my next time I shave my face down, like I never cut it down, but I just get it tighter, and I just won't cut this. My wife's gonna be like, "Did you shave your mustache? Because it doesn't look like you shaved." And I'll be like, "Yeah, totally. I don't know why it looks like that. Weird."
Now, did you share that picture? Did you share your circus boxer picture?
Yeah,
on Twitter.
So, there was some. It was a picture. Somebody, or was it Sean? Maybe had put funny faces on you and I from a video.
Yeah,
and he put like the glasses with the mustache, and I was like, "Oh, it's really funny because here's a photo of me wearing those exact same glasses with the mustache." And he got real excited. And then I showed the boxer when I'm like doing like this, and I showed that photo too, which is fantastic.
I like that photo. It's pretty cool. I mean, it actually makes you look cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean that doesn't happen too often. So the circus monkey boxer picture, that's the one, Sean.
So, Sean, if you could do me a favor and get that circulated with the stash cash. we would all like to retweet that and get that going, because that's going to be awesome.
Oh God.
I will do whatever it takes to hit the 7,000 or the 60. No, 65. You gave it away for 65.
I said 6,500.
What a dummy.
The thing is, like, I am real scared we're gonna get there, because I've been looking at these like metrics that you can get, and right now, like, I think we're on target if we continue doing okay, day by day, getting to like 5,050, 500 mark.
Mm-hmm.
So with a little bit of push, we're gonna get a little bit further, I think.
Oh, we're definitely going to hit it now. 65's in the bag.
Yeah, God. Well, you guys, you'll be seeing a lot more of me because my wife's going to banish me to the basement. So, let me tell you a couple things about a mustache like that, okay?
Uh-huh.
As a man who's had a mustache like that, number one, you can't eat hot dogs or anything that is wet on top, right? Because if you eat it and you take a bite, your mustache goes into it, and then it's on it. anything you drink is in your mustache. All right, automatically. If you drink milk or something, it's in your mustache. Milkshake is in there. Like you'll smell like I've gotten like whipped cream in it before. You smell like whipped cream, and it's like old and rancid whipped cream and stuff. So, like I would think I like wiped it off and everything, and I'd like kiss my wife or like kiss her on the cheek or kiss her on the lips or something, and she'd be like, "Oh, what the heck is that?" And it would be because my mustache had something in it that I didn't know was in there. So it's kind of like a safety thing that I needed to do is to cut that thing off. So I did love it though. Every morning I'd get up and I'd wax it. I'd wax the curls.
It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for that.
Oh, man, I really regret saying that. So $6,500. I regret it immediately.
You could have said 10,000 or something. You said 6,500.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
But if we get to 64,000 or $66,499, that's not there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you don't think I'll easily hit that donate button at that point?
Oh gosh.
Obviously, I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's ask. I got it.
it.
Yeah, thank you for making that official. I appreciate that. I've been waiting for a long time for you to make that official.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
All right. So now my next question is for Doug. Doug, have you ever been in a fight?
I've been in a few.
Have you ever lost a fight? You could say no if you haven't. That's fine.
Well, I mean, there was one fight I was involved in. I didn't know it was a fight at the time until after I got punched in the face. So I guess technically I lost that one. I had a dude in high school hit me with his class ring on, and it gave me a concussion. But I was still on my feet. He didn't even phase me. He just punched my skull, and my forehead just swelled. So I'll take that one as a loss.
It says a lot that you were in a fight and didn't even know it. That speaks to your masculinity and your size. What about you, Macho? Have you ever been in a fight?
Not I don't think you would classify it as a real fight. I remember the only time I can ever remember being mad enough at somebody that we were hitting each other was my next door neighbor. And he was he had this little brother, and his little brother, he was all the time giving him crap and beating on him and stuff. And I think from this is a long time ago but what I remember is he was beating on his brother Michael. Michael and I were throwing a football, and so I threw the football to try to distract him or whatever, and I accidentally hit the dude right in the face, and so he ran at me to I guess get in a fight, and I don't remember what happened. We probably both just did this a lot and never hit each other. I don't remember getting hit at all, but that was the closest I think I've ever come. I'm a big wussy. I don't like confrontation. I'll pass on confrontation. So
well, you're everybody's buddy.
Yeah, I'd rather just slide in and be everybody's friend before getting into altercation.
So from that, I assume that you don't have any brothers.
I do, but my brother, I have a stepbrother, and he's a lot older than me. He did do a lot of since he was older than me. He would just kind of manhandle me. There's nothing I could do. So he'd pick me up and he'd spin me around in circles until I couldn't walk anymore and stuff like that.
I've got two younger brothers, and when we were in high school, the middle one, he's 2 years younger than me, and he's a foot shorter than me and 150 pounds lighter than me. But he's all the time trying to pick fights with me. We fought all the time like cats and dogs.
That's hilarious.
I wonder
That's awesome. I do a lot. My daughter likes to. She's like every once in a while. Well, she can't now because she's in her cast, but she'll be like, "All right, it's fight night," and she'd be like, "It'd be her." I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they both just try to like take me down. That's kind of fun, and we just fight. I'll throw them on the bed and stuff like that, but not serious. That's just trying to take down little kids. Is pretty fun. I'm not a big man either, so it makes me feel good about myself.
There's the quote for the article tomorrow. It's fun to take down
There you
kids.
go. That's right. We talked about fighting animals and fighting children.
And you know what? That's what our show's all about.
Whoa. Check it out. Donald Trump is in the chat. I can't wait for the 2020 election when the legendary Donald Trump wins again. The liberal tears will overflow the 7 seas.
Yes. Yes.
It's nice to have you, Mr. President. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And God bless America.
That's right. Step says he has 4 brothers and some of their fights were epic.
Oh,
I bet
man.
with 4 brothers that you could get into some serious stuff. Oh man. All right. What else we got on our list here, Jason? Let's gonna move away from fighting for a little while because I got another
question. I got another question for both of you. What's the worst job you ever had?
Oh man. That's tough.
I've had some bad ones. Some real bad ones. I'd have to pick the job I have now, which I've had the same job for 5 or 6 years, but I don't have the same clients that I have.
Oh.
The clients I had when I first got into doing this kind of work, it was like, I remember the first day I went in the train, I went into this, and I'll go ahead and explain, give some people some backstory here. I work with people with intellectual disabilities. You know, I go to their homes and I hang out with them, take them shopping, do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the first guy I ever worked with, I remember going into his house, and this tiny little girl, she was like 18 years old. She's training me how to work with this guy, and she's in there. She's like, she's like, okay, follow me, and I'll show you what to do. We walk into the man's bedroom, and she goes, it's time to get out of bed. And he had this really gruff voice, and he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, this is different. And she's like, come on, you got to get out of bed. We got to take a shower. So he gets out of the bed. He goes to the bathroom, and you've got to, like, you didn't have to actually, like, help him wash, but you had to be in there with him and tell him what to do. And so dude strips down and wants to fight. First thing, he's ready to go. He wants to fight somebody. And it's like she's telling him to get in the shower, and he's like, no. And I just had a thought in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to walk out the door and never come back. But
why am I in this house with this naked man?
I was at the point where I needed a job so bad that I was like, I've got to stay. And the first day they left me alone with the guy, he was laying in his room, and he would yell out, he'd go, poop. And it's like, poop. He'd go in there and be like, you got to get him to go to the bathroom. He'd go, no. I'm like, okay. As soon as you go back in the living room, sit down, he'd start going, poop. So he'd walk in there and it's like, dude, do you got to go? And he's like, no. So you'd let him lay in there, and it'd be lunchtime or something, fix some lunch and go get him to bring him in there. You throw back the covers, and he'd like just pull down his pants and just poop all over everything.
Oh, God.
So then you've got to get him. Dude. You've got to get him to go take a shower. And once he gets naked,
you're like, no.
He's trying to grab you and like fight with you.
Oh my gosh, that's rough. That's real rough.
One thing's for sure, I'm really glad that we invited you on today, Doug.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This will be the last time. Just
mine might not be quite that bad, but it also involves poop.
Interesting.
So So I for a long time. So I worked at a place is an adventure center, and I started. And I was the stash cash has begun on Twitter. Oh, great! Hold on.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
Way to go, Sean. That's why we have you around, buddy.
Oh, jeez. Jeez. I can just already.
You're
my
gonna
wife.
you're gonna get it. It's awesome. She's gonna hate me too.
She's gonna be not happy with me. So I was working at this place as an adventure center, and it was really cool because we did like I got I was the bike guy, and I rode bikes with people, and I did high ropes and like canoeing and kayak and all that stuff. Like I got paid to do all that stuff, and it's awesome. But I started like if you work too well at like you get stuff done at a place like that, they see your weakness, which is you do a job good or well, and they want to exploit that and make you do as much work as possible so other people can that don't do jobs can continue to be lazy. So I moved from just like trip leader up the ranks, and I was eventually a director there, and it was the base camp director. And that's just a fancy title, being a director for like the person that like puts out all the fires and like takes care of all the crap. And in my case, it was literal crap a lot of times. So we had a septic system, and the septic system was old and not very well designed. And the buildings, everything was just like they were ancient. They looked really cool. They're all log cabins and stuff, but nothing was put together correctly. They usually used labor in the form of people that worked there, and nobody knew what they were doing. And so there were days like specifically, I remember our septic tank would overflow like about every 3 months, no matter what. We barely ever had the money to even come out, like have somebody come out and get it pumped. So there'd be a lot of times where they'd have to pump from one tank to another tank, and it would get clogged. So I'd have to go out there and put in on like a Tyvek suit and like get into the septic tank and uncouple this like the poop pump, right? And pull it out and like clean all the junk because it's like hair, like people would flush everything, and I'd like clean all the gunk and stuff out of it and put the stupid thing back together, so that there wouldn't be poop backing up into all the buildings. And I made the mistake of doing it once, and they were like, "Wow, Dan saved us so much money because he figured out how to fix this thing. Why do we ever need to get it pumped again?" So for a while, I was doing that like constantly. I felt like I was fixing that septic system, and it got too much. And I got a great job offer from somewhere else, and I moved on. I still miss that place a lot, but I do not miss fixing the septic system. So that was one of my best and worst jobs I've ever had, I'd say.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Septic technician. Sean, this post is something else.
Oh, I'm so glad Sean's here with us tonight. This is the best night for him to show up.
He got to hear some poop stories.
What about you? What about you?
Me?
What?
The worst job I ever had?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. It also involves poop.
They all do.
So I worked for this this big camp. It was like a campground event center. It was way up in the mountains, and I had to sort of clean up after people would leave. They'd be there for a week, like with big groups and stuff, and I'd have to clean up after them. So there was lots of just nasty cleanup type stuff that we had to do. But one day, I was on the maintenance team at this time, and the maintenance leader came up to me and he said, "Need you to go down to the field today." And I was like, "The field?" And he said, "Yeah, need you to go down to the field today and cut the grass." And I'd done a lot of mowing and cutting grass and stuff, so I just figured it was no big deal. And I said, "Okay, cool." And me and my partner who I was working with were we went down to get ready to go to this field to cut grass, and he walks up to us and he hands us waders. And we're like, what do we need with these waders? And he said, well, you're going to need to put those on to cut this grass. And we were like, what? So this place, this event center was up on top of the mountain, and the septic ran down the mountain to this this very small water treatment center, and the pipes would overflow constantly. So there's these big pipes in this field, like probably 60, 70 feet long, worth of pipes, like 6 or 7 rows of them. And they would just kind of like, just like in different parts of the pipe, they would just overflow and it would just come kind of squirting out the top. And all this septic water was just coming out. Well, during the summertime, when you put that on the grass, it just makes that grass grow like a swamp.
Grow like crazy. Yeah.
So literally we went down there, we put on waders, and they handed us these weed eaters, because you couldn't just mow it. So they handed us these weed eaters that had blades on them. So here I am in my waders with a bladed weed eater, cutting stalks of grass the size of a small tree, and poop water just flying all over the place.
Oh man.
That's the worst job I've ever had to
do. I love it. I love that you had to do that.
It grew some hair on my chest, I'll tell you what.
You guys are always talking crap, Sean says. It's true. We talk about crap a lot.
I think everybody ought to have a job where they have to mess with poop or clean toilets or something.
I agree.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I've done it. Everybody should do it.
Yeah. And at that same place, I did the most dangerous job I've ever had to do, which was now I'm like 19 years old at the time. Okay. So I was a lot more squirrely at this time. So what they did was they had this.
Squirrely is an interesting descriptor, but whatever.
Yeah. And so what they needed me to do was they had this, like as you're driving up to this place, there's this big old cliff. And on the side of this cliff, you guys know what paradise trees are?
Oh, they're the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this huge, they're basically the weeds, but they're trees. So they had this basically small forest of paradise trees that were on the side of this cliff, and they wanted it cleared. And so what they took, and these are a bunch of old guys. Like the maintenance team was a bunch of everybody was over the age of 40, and they were all very gruff mountain guys. And they're like, get that boy up here. So they got me up there, and then they put a rope around my waist. And
this is safe, trust me.
They lowered me down with a chainsaw, and they were like swinging me back and forth with the rope to get to different parts of the trees and cut it. So like I'm literally like hanging from a rope tied around my waist with a chainsaw about 40 feet off the road, which was below, cutting paradise trees.
That
sounds real safe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I was trying to think what I did that was really dangerous when I worked at the camp that I was working at. And the one thing I remember really vividly being super dangerous, but I'm not really scared of heights, but in this particular situation, I was kind of nervous, but we were building this tower, this like climbing tower, and it was 3 poles. Like you're looking down at it from the top. We put 3 poles in the ground, and if you connect the dots between those 3, it's like a triangle shape. And the first thing we did was we went up and we put these staples into the sides of the trees, and they're real thick, like steel staples that you can climb up. And what you do is you put on a harness, and then this harness had these 2 ropes coming off of it with a carabiner on each end. and you'd climb up and you'd clip one, and then you climb up a few more and clip the other one, and you take the other one off and you climb up and do that. And I remember thinking, I don't need to do this. I'm just climbing up the thing. I'm holding on to these things, so I need to do it. So anyway, I climbed up to the top and not thinking about it, and got up there and I started working and doing stuff. And I'm up high. I mean, it's like 45 or 50 feet off the ground. And then we were getting down by using a line and rappelling down, like clipping in with a carabiner and just rappelling down the line. It's easier and it's way safer when you're climbing down. And we worked for a little while up there, and we had something on the top to keep us from falling or whatever, but it was time to get back down. And I realized I forgot, I didn't bring they called them lobster claws, didn't bring those, didn't bring any rappelling device, and there wasn't a rope for me to go down on. And so I had to like get over the side of this thing, and it was not easy to get over and find your footing and everything. I'm 50 foot off the ground by myself on top of this thing, and I didn't bring anything up there. And I had to get off and get off of the tower and climb down. And it was really terrifying. I didn't really tell them about that when I worked there, because I could have gotten in a lot of trouble, but it's fine now. What are they going to do?
Yeah. Hey, what do you guys think about this page? I just got it. This one's, I think, finished. Ready for colors.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
I'm going to move on to the next one.
Yeah, shading and stuff is looking great. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I want to see that with Vegas colors on it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And we got to get to 5,500 to get those Vegas colors.
That's right. 5,500 is fine if we stop there. Totally fine.
Oh, no. No, there's another 1,000 that we have to get to.
65 is where you got to get.
Oh, we will get there. We will get there.
Oh, good. So we have, hold on, let me pull my Twitter up because I'm getting notifications like crazy now. Thanks, Sean. Cody Martinez, let's hit the stretch goal. I want to see Macho Dan grow it out and show it. Then he fully deliver on the hero. Then he should fully deliver on the hero knockout edition. Did you guys see that he did this? I'm sure you guys saw it, but I was jokingly saying like, yeah, I was. I'll
come to your house.
Hero perk, and I'll come to your house, and I'll personally knock you out.
Yeah.
And so he drew a little cartoon. It was really funny, and he drew me with that mustache and sunglasses on. It was great.
Funny.
We got Vosto Vlad in the chat. Welcome, Vosto. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah. How much to dye it power pink? Oh man, now we're talking 10K range, and I don't know how long I would be able to. I mean, maybe a couple days. I guess I'd have to go to work one day with it on.
Oh, you would definitely have to go out in public with it on, or it wouldn't be worth doing.
I don't mind.
It needs to be filmed too.
Well, I'll be there with my camera, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know what we should talk about is we should ask Mr. Doug Garrett about his project that he's got going on right now.
That'd be good. Go ahead.
All right, Doug. So you've put out some teasers and things out on the internet, but Lone Wolf Anthology is going to get made, and you have some awesome artists and writers in that. And so I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. I know I'm in the chat, but for everybody else and Mutt, let's hear about it a little bit.
Yeah, so we're getting really close to launching this. We're looking over the campaign and everything, but we've got 6 different stories. It's going to be 80 pages.
80 pages.
Yeah, 80 pages. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be we're not going to make a floppy book. We're going to go with perfect binding and try to make a really nice, like trade paperback style book.
Cool.
Awesome.
But everybody picked out different like little eras they wanted to do, different periods in time. Wolf has been around for over 200 years, so there's plenty of stories that we can touch on and tell.
Yeah, so you're telling everybody gets to kind of pick a sort of era where Wolf has history in it, and they can tell like that story. So like, give us some examples of the eras that people are telling stories about.
Well, we actually have one that takes place in the future.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow, cool.
It's a little bit beyond. You never really can tell what's going to happen in the future. But one of my stories takes place in modern time, and I actually wrote 2 stories for this. And the other story takes place in the early 1900s. There's 2 stories really that take place in the early 1900s. Let's see. I'm trying to think of all the stories in my head. I don't want to leave anybody out.
I know that Marshall Lee's doing one, right? And his is
Yeah.
Well, see, he's actually doing my script.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. See, I cheated and wrote 2 stories and got 2 different artists to do the art on them.
That's awesome, man.
But Marshall is fantastic. I love the artwork that he's doing.
Yeah, and he's a great guy too.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Very imaginative, very creative. So you'll definitely get a really interesting story out of him.
And let's see. Like I said, it's hard for. I don't have a cheat sheet in front of me, and I don't want to leave anybody's stories out.
That's cool.
Yeah. And Mutt and I wasn't. I have written something for one of these. We weren't able to get in on this one just because we have so much going on with Hero currently. But
A little bit. Got a little bit going on.
Got a little bit going on. We're going to see what the future holds, and we're hoping that to be involved on one of these things in the future too. So I'm excited about my voodoo priestess in 70s Vegas storyline that we started working with. So we'll see what happens.
I want you to just tell it.
But basically, and Doug knows this too. But basically, my story was Wolf rides into town, and he knows there's a coven of vampires and in Vegas, and so.
Wait, for people who don't know who Wolf is, why don't you explain?
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Like, why don't you throw down Wolf, and then I'll tell the story, Doug.
Okay, so Wolf is a Cherokee warrior who is the last protector of the earth. He's been passed down these powers from his grandfather. So they kind of protect the earth from supernatural evil. He just kind of rides around, looking for trouble and taking care of it the only way he knows how.
Right.
Yeah.
So in my story, so Wolf this is the 70s, and so he's full on Easy Rider mode, cruising through the desert, and so he hears about something going down in Vegas, that there's vampires and they're basically causing trouble, right? So he's going to figure out what is happening. And when he gets there, he starts kind of stalking, and Wolf has some abilities that are far beyond the mortal man. So he's stalking these vampires. What he sees is that they're dealing drugs. They're handing out these drugs, and it's causing people to basically come in, and they're letting them the vampires feed on them, like kind of like cattle, right?
Yeah,
they're using them like cattle, and so Wolf's like, this can't happen. Like, there's kids and stuff like that. Like, this is terrible. So he breaks in. He finds their lair or whatever, and he breaks in. And at the top of their casino, he gets up there and he finds that they have a voodoo witch that they've chained. Like, she's like literally, like, I'm not talking like a witch, with the long nose and the wart and like a pot of stew or whatever. It's like a nasty voodoo priestess, like bone magic and skulls and all kinds of creepy stuff. And she's chained up in this room, this like big cell. I was imagining this big circle. They've like literally drawn a circle in chalk. Can't get any closer, or that thing's going to get you. And they have her chained down, and they have her cursing this street drug. So she's literally using her voodoo magic to curse this street drug, to make these people behave in this certain way, so the vampires can like stockpile blood, right? And and so Wolf gets in there, and he's like, he needs to stop this. So he breaks the witch free, and she immediately starts like killing vampires like crazy.
Mhm.
So in this process, Wolf is gonna basically he uses the evil of that witch to kind of like tear down this this coven of vampires, and ultimately win the day to go fight some more evil. I don't want to give everything away, but that's pretty much the loose storyline right now.
Vaso Vlad says that he's going to listen to us while he's playing Mord Hall. I'm not sure what that is. Some kind of cool game, I'm sure. That's
Let us know what it is, but we're happy you're here with us.
Abe Sapiens here. He says, "Hey y'all."
What up, Abe? Good to see you, man.
And Macho, you're pretty good at telling stories, man. I got to admit.
I hope I'm all right. I thought that'd be a really fun story. I just thought it sounded cool in my head. So I hope everybody else thinks so too. And I want to see it drawn. I want to see it on paper.
Yeah, I do too. There's so many people like already like they have stories and stuff. They just couldn't meet this deadline. That we've probably got enough people interested in to do like 3 volumes. You know,
that's awesome. I think that's going to be really cool though, because a lot of characters do well when you think about characters that are like really popular. I mean, like Cap's been around from the 40s, right? And he's kind of lost in time, and he comes through time to he's battling the Nazis in the 40s. He's battling Hydra, in modern times, and it's pretty cool. And I think Wolf has kind of that same vibe where he is able to, you're going to be able to get a lot of runway with him as a character. And the world is really interesting, and it's not overly complicated. Like, you haven't made so many rules that it like hog ties you in a lot of ways. It's like he just fights evil, like mythical and what am I trying to say? Like supernatural evil.
He's the protector of the earth. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love it.
It's simple, and it makes sense right away, and the universe kind of builds itself. It's great.
Yeah, so Vasta's saying you could fight with any weapon from that time period. You could have duels or army versus army or death match.
Cool.
He's game influenced is what he's saying. A game not influenced by SJWs.
Hey, Vasta, are you the guy who makes the music? Do you make music? You can answer that question.
Do not know.
Eventually.
So, I've been proud of my story writing ability, because I did also bragging moment for myself. I did also win a $200 from our buddy Tyler Carpenter.
We will never hear the end of this, by the way. For
writing a pitch on the fly and competing in his first ever Draw and Talk writers competition.
Yeah, you did pretty good,
pumped.
Man. You did pretty good.
He says, "Yeah, I'm the music guy. Made the soundtrack for Death Sworn. Oh, and Monster MD.
Yeah, buddy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you are cool. Awesome. You are cool.
Yeah. You and Doug, man. Doug made our soundtrack, and freaking killed it. But yeah, that's awesome, man. We got 2 awesome music guys here.
I know it.
But let's talk about what's important, not you guys, and that's me winning this writing competition. Okay. I'm just joking.
No,
but
you're not.
It was really fun, and there is a 2-page story that he said Sept was in there the whole time. He had my back from the beginning. He said the judges were wise, but it's a 2-page story, and I got this money to make this story, so I'm real excited about it. And I'm currently, I talked to one artist. I sent him a message. He's interested. And I just kind of have to get some stuff written down on paper, like official, to give to him. And he's going to see about what he thinks he can do with us. So
can you tell us?
Pretty excited. Yeah. So who I've talked? Yeah. I don't think it matters at this point. There's been no commitment, but he's interested, and it's Trusty Sidekick. He's on Twitter as Trusty Sidekick, and he has a really cool style, almost like a not pin up, but like tradition. I don't even know. It's real clean lines. His like his art is really good. So I'm excited about potentially using him for this 2-pager.
We got Rick in the chat. We got some sexy Rick up in the chat.
Oh,
what up,
dang,
buddy?
sexy Rick is here.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, so in the story, I'll give you guys my 2-page pitch. And it was kind of cool because you start out and he spins a wheel and you get a genre, and then he gives you like 2 minutes and you have to write a pitch for this genre, and it happened to be comedy. And then you go into round 2, he spins the wheel again, and whatever genre it lands on, you have to do a comedy plus whatever the next genre is. Mine was comedy and horror, which I happened to write the first time. So I added romance into my second pitch. And then he did the last one is between me and this guy named Robert, who also had a fantastic pitch, but it landed up on Sci-Fi, and I got that one too. I nailed it. And so I stuck with the same pitch throughout, which was fun. They didn't make that a rule. You could have changed it up, but mine just happened to work that way. And so here's my pitch that won me the thing. All right. So you guys be ready. See what you think. All right. When the zombie apocalypse happened, Ted always thought it would be a mutated virus or a street drug gone wrong. The downfall of the human race started from a bad batch of baloney, and it's all Ted's fault. Now Ted and his high school crush Tina, who work in HR, fight their way through the zombie horde and into each other's hearts to save his best friend Coop, who works in the Vienna sausage division. That's it.
Dude, that sounds like a movie that I want to watch. I mean, it really does.
Oh, man. Oh, Trusty's on E. Ortiz right now.
Yeah, baby.
That's cool. Yeah, Rick. Yeah. So hopefully I'm working with him. Nothing is official at all. I've just talked to him a little bit, but I love his art. He's a super nice guy. I think he's actually based in Virginia too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's a Virginia guy.
Yeah, and I like my homeboy, my hometown, or East Coast in general. Yeah. That's why I like Doug so much, I think. He's East Coast too.
Yeah, but he's not quite Virginia. Tennessee's pretty good, but Virginia's definitely the best place to live.
That's
yeah. I don't want to hear that. Don't be lying while I'm on here. You can lie when I'm not around, but don't be lying when I'm in here.
But yeah. So anyway, I was real happy. I was real excited about that. I came on and I told from the first tweet, I said, Tyler, don't even bother. You can just give me the money because I'm taking this home. And you know what? I came in and I saw and I conquered. And I usually don't win stuff like that, but I was pretty confident on that one.
You did. You really did, though. You went in and
Macho has found Mutt-Man's replacement. Bleeding cool.
Hey,
he's funny.
He's pretty good, man. Like if he was to want, if Trusty was to want to step in on any of these projects, he could probably knock it out of the park. He's a really good illustrator.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like his art, and it's super nice. He's been on our gotten in on our chats before, and so yeah. If you guys are interested, you should go check him out. He has check out his page. Has some art on there, so we'll see what happens.
I know I'm a pretty big fan of old Mutt-Man's art there. I know since the first time I saw it that I wanted him to do a variant cover for me. So he did one, and when we launch this next campaign, I'm gonna make that a part of the campaign where you can pick that up.
That's cool. I can't wait to have one of those. I'm excited to have one of those in the collection. A Mutt-Man cover. It's gonna be cool.
And I don't mean this as any disrespect because I don't know how you feel, but I feel like your style is like if Frank Miller was trying to be Jack Kirby.
All right, that's cool, man. That's awesome.
You just made my day, buddy.
Dude, that's what I get. The action poses that I see Hero in totally remind me of like The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's if he was trying to make it like more Jack Kirby like. So I mean, that's what I've always liked about your style.
Man, I really appreciate that. Very nice of you.
That's a compliment. I'd never tell him that to his face though, because now we're just gonna hear about it for the rest of the time. But
I'm basically Quick Hero now.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to get my.
I like that. I like that analogy. That like that. I can definitely see it. That's cool. And that cover turned out really cool, especially with the color from Vegas. I guess he colored that, didn't he? He had
Yeah,
to.
he did. He did.
Yeah, it looks really good.
He killed. I mean, like that's something I really like. When you have a really nice piece of art, he doesn't step on it at all. He just enhances it.
Yeah. And I was just waiting to see what he was able to do, because when we were getting that, well, when Mutt was getting that cover done for Hero, I was just waiting to see what it was going to look like, and I was trying to envision in my head, and I couldn't possibly imagine. And then when I saw it, I was just like, my mind was blown. I love his he gets deep in there, like he has to zoom in super far and spend a lot of time on these little sections of this that cover. And I mean, he really spends some time on it. It's crazy, and the coloring is just beautiful. So
I tried to get him to come on the show and talk to us, and he says he's kind of shy. He doesn't really want to get on here with us crazy people and get embarrassed.
I don't blame him if you're his point of contact. So
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, but
he's probably like this weird animal man wants to talk to me on. He probably thinks you're a furry or something.
No, I think he's afraid of your fangs. He doesn't.
Maybe that's what it is.
He's not sure if you're not a weird
daywalker, man. Daywalker.
You're a little weird.
Yeah. I'm excited. There's a lot of good stuff coming out. Like we should also plug some of our friends that are out there working hard.
Man, there's so many.
There's so many. Like when we launched, and then right behind us, Shinobi Sasquatch launched.
They're killing it. They're killing it.
Absolutely. I mean, if they don't hit 12K tonight, is 100% a sure thing tomorrow. Like they are right there, and I'm super happy
that Rob is an image artist who somehow found a time machine and came to the future.
And it's crazy, man. Or like I just think that he has that kind of that McFarlane and like Cowan or however you say his last name look to his art, like the veins and stuff when he draws veins and like anything like muscle definition and stuff. He just has that look.
Oh, yeah, that dude is a killer, and he will be probably one of the most popular artists to come out of this movement.
Yeah, he's gonna blow up for sure, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we're really excited for those guys. If for some reason anybody that is in the chat, like Zach Hawkins is here, everybody, hey Zach. But if anybody hasn't seen it, like you're sleeping under a rock, or you're living in the backwaters of Tennessee. No, I'm just playing with Doug. But you need to go look out Shinobi Sasquatch. It's cool. And so back that. Yeah, maybe back here first. Maybe we have a little ways to make up on them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, back both. Yeah.
Rick wants to know if we can come on next Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I cannot come on next Thursday at 5 p.m. I'm sorry, Rick. If there's another time that works for you, I have something that day that I have to be at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Just DM us, Rick, and we'll set it up.
Yeah. We'd love to come on with you again, Rick. I'm excited. Yeah, so Shinobi's good. One I'm really looking forward to is Monster MD. Have you been looking at that, Doug?
Yeah. Every time he posts some new art for it, I don't know. To me, I love it because I could see this as an animated series or an animated.
Yeah. Yep.
It just looks great. The character designs are fantastic, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's another one that's going to blow up. The artist is going to blow up. Vaughn's probably going to move on to some pretty big things because I think from what I gather just from hearing him talk about things and kind of his sensibilities about comics and storytelling, I think he's a very talented individual with some really good ideas.
He is. He's smart. He's quick too. Like if you ever watch like Writer's Room or Kids Table,
Yeah.
He'll be on there and he just thinks up stuff so fast. And a lot of times when I'm doing these stories, I got to sit in a quiet place and just like mull over the story a long time. And he just like pops things out like crazy. It's funny.
Yeah.
Him and Narwhal both.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely not as smart as he is. It's really apparent.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. So Sean has something in the chat. He asked, when Hero takes over a body, do they morph to look similar, or does he change with different body types? So, that's a great question. That's a great question. So basically, what happens is the Hero unit's going to pump in some chemicals, and it's going to be one of them is going to be so that it can use the brain. It can kind of connect with the brain and be able to take over the control of the body. The other thing is it basically turns him into Captain America. Think about it that way. So Captain America got the super soldier serum, and he was this little tiny, like 140 pound string bean, and he grew into this like 6'2", just like brick house. And that's kind of the similar thing that happens here with Hero. So he gets this pairing with his kind of symbiotic pairing with the bot that's attached to him, and then he also excuse me gets that super soldier strength and agility.
But Macho, what if like, let's say, what if Hero attached himself to a girl? What would happen?
It would be it wouldn't morph from a woman into a man. It would be a female version of a super soldier. It'd be the same thing.
Like a She-Hulk.
You guys assuming people?
She-Hulk. There you go. She-Hulk.
What'd you
say, Doug?
I said, are you all assuming people's gender over there?
We are. It depends. Whatever gender that you want to say you are, it's just going to make you a super soldier, whatever it is. They don't all look exactly the same. A lot of the images you're seeing though are kind of the first Hero unit that is going to be like explored in this comic, and you'll I guess as the comic grows, you're going to be able to see some others that are going to take form. I don't know how to say this without giving too much away.
You're walking dangerously close to the edge.
Yeah, I know. Dangerously close to the edge. And I'm usually the one that tries to not give anything away. Mutt all the time tells everything. He just likes to give it away.
I'm just a gossip girl.
You are. But yeah, I was trying to think of that's a great question. Thank you, Sean. So if anybody hasn't heard Hero Blood of Patriots, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Even if you have seen it, you should just go get on the page and just think about, if you want to spend some more money, that would be cool. But share it out with your friends, your family, your pastor, your counselor, your Boy Scout leader.
Probation officer.
Probation officer. Who wins, Hero or Kit? K-I-T-T. I'm not. Is that Kit like as in the
Knight Rider?
Knight Rider Kit? Is that what you're saying? I don't even know what K-I-T-T stands for.
Well, definitely. If it's Knight Rider Kit, it's definitely Hero. Unless you throw in David Hasselhoff, and then it might be.
I was going to say, if we got the Hasselhoff though, you're just in trouble.
Yeah, you throw.
What if Hero to David Hasselhoff? Oh, Night Industries 3000. That's right. Kit.
Well, what if?
So what if? Go ahead.
I was going to say, what if Hero attached to the Hasselhoff and it became the Hero Hoff?
Oh,
they'd be that's something that needs to be drawn by somebody out there. If you can draw, you should draw that.
Hero Hoff.
But if it was Hero versus Kit, Hero would disable Kit, because Kit is not it's a car with a mind, but Hero is he's kind of like Cap in the sense that he is a tactical genius, right? Because he has this huge store of information in the form of the artificial intelligence. It's able to it knows how to fight, and it knows how to attack. it would take that car apart in no time.
No question.
No question. The hashtag Hero Hoff. That needs to happen too. Somebody draw that. Somebody get that made.
I think if
incredible.
you make the movie, it should be played by David Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll bring him out of retirement. You're like, come on,
He
Hoff.
came out of retirement for Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a bigger payday than that for sure.
No question. I used to love that show, though, man. I was a big Knight Rider fan.
Yeah, I did like Knight Rider as well.
I liked Airwolf, too. Do you guys remember Airwolf?
Oh, Airwolf, yes.
I never watched Airwolf.
It's basically the same thing with a helicopter.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty good. I did. I like some Thunder in Paradise. Similar with a boat and a wrestler.
That was so bad, though.
I love it for how just campy and ridiculous it was.
Macho got Hulk Hogan to reply.
The Hulkster replied to me
because he put that show on there. It was so funny.
Like he's just hurting for any sort of promotion. So when a nobody with a Macho Man Randy Savage Twitter handle,
I think he thought you might have been like a fan club or something like that.
Yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Or maybe he's been hit so many times that he forgot Macho was dead, and he thought he was.
Hulkamania is running wild, so any interaction, man, he's going to jump on it.
I know. That's okay. That was a bucket list item. Hulk Hogan retweeted me. It was amazing.
Dude, you should be proud of that.
Man, I got to tell you guys too. So I made that tweet about my daughter's arms, and I was like, "Can I get 100 likes?" And I got like a lot more than 100. But I had some people, some very, very nice people. I'm not going to say their names because they requested me not say anything or tell anybody who it was. But I had people send comic books to Izzy, which is really cool. I'm going to put something out there later as a thank you without tagging them. Had people send cookies from they had a company make some cookies and delivered them today. There's all kinds of, it was really crazy that people cared enough to do things like that. Isn't that nuts?
Dude, there's some really great people out there. The other day I was talking about going to the doctor, and I was complaining because it seems like every time I work overtime, I have to spend my overtime money on something I don't want to spend it on. Mm-hmm. And people are offering to help me pay my bills. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But it was great. So nice that these people cared enough about some rando that they were willing to help me out.
Yeah, it's crazy that out there, because the internet can be a really sad and disgusting place, but it can also be really cool. And that's what I've found, at least with the people that I've made friends with or are in the general circles that I'm in on Twitter or whatever, is that that there's some really very generous and kind folks out there. And it's been neat to see that. So yeah, people offered a lot to Izzy, it was just crazy that it was just this picture of my daughter and all this stuff came out of it. So that was really cool. So she got an issue, #1 issue, first Teen Titans Go that somebody sent to her, which is kind of cool. So she was up there reading that tonight, which is it was neat to see. Yeah.
Macho, you're neglecting the chat, my friend. I'm going to get Rick, dude, Sexy Rick, back up in here because he's way better.
Yeah, he probably should. He is better than me. All right, we got Trey in the chat. I said hey to him, though. Hashtag one man fan. Love you, Trey. He said the fans order a ton of pizza and sent it to the Halo studio because they wanted the game on PC, and they gave back and finally are honoring their request. That's pretty cool. I guess, are they fans of the game Halo wanted it back on PC, and they ordered a bunch of pizza to try to
coerce.
Coerce the I was trying to think of a different word. That's kind of cool. Bungie. I haven't played Halo in a long time. Oh man, you play any games, Doug?
Yeah, I play
any
games
games?
all the time.
Yeah. What do you like?
Well, right now, I play a lot of retro games. I like the classics,
Okay.
but I've been playing and this everybody makes fun of me and tells me I'm a dork, but I like to play Fortnite with my nephews.
That's
I
cool,
love
man.
Fortnite. And I've been playing Fallout 76, which everybody apparently hates except me.
That's
But,
the one. That's
those
the one where it's like MMO, I guess. Since there's a bunch of other players.
yeah, it is. But when you play it, it's just like playing Fallout. Except it's more desolate and kind of creepy.
Okay. I've been playing because a lot of times what I'll do is when a new game comes out, I'll rent it on Redbox, and if I like it, I'll buy it. And so I rented that. It was Days Gone. It's like a zombie game. The other day, and like they've been pumping stuff about this video game for like I feel like years. I feel like 2 or 3 years, and I ended up renting it, and it just wasn't very good. I was shocked at how bad it was, actually.
I'd heard that because there was a ton of commercials. They were like really hyping it.
Yeah.
And there was like random leaked footage on the internet. Like you're saying, it seems like a year or two now.
Yeah. And it looked great. I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet. And it just is not very good. It's very clunky and like the controls are slow and stuff. I just wasn't a fan of it. But I still play, and people are probably going to laugh at me for this, but this is 2 years ago now. I bought Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I'm not really usually a big multiplayer kind of guy, but for whatever reason, I love playing multiplayer on that game. I play that. No, I don't play it a lot, but I play it enough. And it's Star Wars, so it's fun to, be your favorite characters and kill rebel scum or whatever you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. Yeah, and Trey says Days Gone is too late and poorly made. 100% agree. If people bought that, I feel bad because that was a waste of money. It's did you guys ever see the game? It was it's the one. It was like a space game, and it was supposed to like No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
have you seen that?
Yeah.
I bought that. I thought it was going to be the coolest game. I was so excited. Me and a bunch of friends bought it when it came out, and that was the biggest waste of money I've ever made. Like, it was absolute garbage. I cannot believe how bad that game was.
I know a lot of people were really, really upset about it.
Yeah, it was not good at all. Like, and then they made this big deal, like maybe 6 months ago, about how they did an update, and it was all this new stuff, and it was exactly the same. Nothing had changed at all. It was terrible. Trey says Star Wars Battlefront is greater than Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, the first Battlefront they did, the EA did, was pretty dang good. I like that a lot. I'm better at Battlefront 2, so whatever. Maybe it's that the people that are really good at Battlefront 1 don't like it because there's people better at Battlefront 2. But let's see. Zach says, Dan, we ought to play that sometime together if you have it on Xbox, my gamer tag. Unfortunately, don't have it on Xbox. I'm a PS4 man. I'd love to play sometime, but I'm a PS4 man.
Me and Zach play Payday 2 quite a bit with Skinny and some other people.
Nice.
Yeah, Payday's kind of old and clunky, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah. Trey's ripping on Battlefront 2. No Man's Sky remains one of the biggest disappointments, right up there behind Battlefront 2, right up there with Battlefront 2. I don't mind Battlefront 2. I thought it was pretty. I think it's pretty good. I have fun with that game, but the reason I think people hate that is because it's like the transactions, microtransactions or whatever, which I just don't use them. I don't know why you even really need them. Maybe people want to get, want to use their money for stuff like that, but I just play the game. Yeah, mainly aggressive microtransactions. But yeah, and I have one of those little Raspberry Pis, and I play retro games. Like I love Super Mario. stuff like that. I play that every now and then. Or
Yeah,
get an Altered Beast. You guys ever play some Altered Beast?
Oh, I love that game.
Game's so good.
Wise from your grave.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes, I'll play Altered Beast on that thing. Or it actually has the X-Men. There's a ROM on it for the X-Men arcade. Oh, so good.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
that's awesome.
So
I
good.
built one of those Pi Zeros, and it's not as powerful. I need to do some work on it. But dude, I've been playing a ton of TurboGrafx 16 games.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Because I never played that as a kid. Over here where I'm at, I've still never to this day seen one.
Yeah.
So it was like it was some kind of magical game system for me. So it really blew my mind once I started getting to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many games out there. Like I had no clue that like, you know, the NES was putting out so many games and they're by like there's there's like 3 or 4 companies that are the main games producers. They're putting out games like crazy out there. Like it's insane how many games are out there, like NES games and SNES games. It's pretty wild. So I'm just flipping through, and there's a lot of like weird foreign games. If because on the Raspberry Pi it's labeled as not the Genesis but the Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive. And I'm flipping through, and I'm like, I've never seen half of these games. Zach says, man, I got it after you took all that crap out. It was $20. I enjoy it well enough. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at, Zach. Like it's pretty. I think it's pretty fun. Like some people are gonna be probably more purist about it, but the multiplayer is a good time. I just like doing that, and I'm really good at the heavy gunner, and I just get up close and blow people away. It's awesome. Vasto says Katana Zero is a recent work of art game, very retro but modern and slick indie game. I'll have to check that out.
Were you a big Castlevania fan? Have you ever played any of the original Castlevanias?
I have. I do like Castlevania. I was never good at it, and I never had enough patience for it. It's like you have to be pretty good at that game.
Yeah, there's some guys that got together and made it's like Castlevania. It's like there's an 8-bit version, and then they've got the one that's like the PlayStation, but it's called Bloodstained: Curse of the Night.
Okay,
it's a new game, but it's all 8-bit retro, and it is a lot of fun. If you like Castlevania, you should check it out.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I like Castlevania is great. I think it's a cool, like it's neat that property has evolved past just a video game, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I didn't play it a whole lot.
Well, as a kid, it was too hard for me.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Trey says he still needs to try the NES Classic. Yeah, those games are great. There's a lot of really great, fantastic NES games. He says, what about Dead Cells? You know anything about that, Doug?
No, I've never heard of it.
What about Dead Cells? Dead Cells. I'll have to check it out. All right.
I'm not that hip on any new video games. Usually one has to be 4 or 5 years old for us.
It looks like it's on PlayStation. It's a Castlevania inspired. Hold on here. It's coming August 7th. Pre-order now. It's a rogue-lite Castlevania inspired action platformer, allowing you to explore sprawling, ever-changing castles, seeming you're able to fight your way past its keepers. Ooh, it looks really cool. I'm gonna put the link up for this. This looks really cool.
I'll have to check it out.
All right, I put the link in the chat. And what was the one? Sorry, Zach said something, or no? What was the one you said, Doug?
Bloodstain.
Bloodstain.
Now they've got like 2 different ones out. They've got the 8-bit one and then the one.
Yeah, here it is. Let's see. Oh man, I'm on the Wikipedia for some reason. Ritual of the Night. Oh, it's on Steam. That's cool. We got Slasher McSplitter. in the chat. Thanks for coming in. What a great name. Bloodstained is great. And Sep says the last video game he played was Master of Orion 2. I don't even know what that is. So, see, I'm gonna find out that right now. Oh, it's on Steam as well. Is anybody an Eve fan? Does anybody know what Eve is? Nothing? Nobody? It's this crazy, Eve is this crazy, huge space, like, you like get a ship and you can fly and you can do like you can mine for ore or you can like be a pirate and all that. It's crazy. It's Eve Online and it's pretty insane. But so I had a friend that wanted me to get into it, and I really tried to get into that game and like play, but it was too big. It's too big of a game for me. There's too many things that you can change and like too many I guess like occupations you can have, and I mean it gets into the point where like you're not going to have a life or see your kids or your wife or anything if you start playing that game too much. Like it's insanely difficult. And like Trey's right, he's saying Eve Online, it takes too much money to get into that, and that's true. I had a friend who he just happens to be well off. He has some money to play with, and he really wanted me to play this game, and so he paid for like the like membership thing to like level up character for a couple months because he wanted me to get into it, and I just tell him I just didn't have time. I couldn't get into it. And Trey's saying this too, like people would get into it and have ships in this game that were worth real money, like thousands and thousands of real dollars. And they get into these giant battles and lose these ships that they've invested all this money into this virtual ship and be out thousands of dollars, which is insane to me. It's so crazy.
That is crazy.
But I love some bit. I just love nerd culture in general. Games and comics is the best.
You remember back in the day when it wasn't cool to like all this stuff?
Oh, I definitely.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
When I was in high school, I had a Batman shirt, and people made fun of me all the time. Doug likes Batman.
Yep. I mean, it's crazy how far it's changed.
Yeah, I used to bring my comics to school, and I would hide them, and I was petrified because I brought them to school to give to my friends. That we had our little, private nerd culture that nobody knew about, and we wouldn't tell anybody about. And we would trade comics, and I was always scared to death that somebody was going to find out that I had comics in my backpack or in my,
Yeah, there's a guy I went to school with, and I always wonder what happened to him when we were like in fourth or fifth grade. The only place you could get comics here is if you went to Walmart, and you had to buy like the grab bags where they had like 3 or 4, and you could only see what the front one was.
Yep.
And so I'd buy comics occasionally, and he started going to the flea market and getting all these old comic books, like 70s and early 80s comics, and he'd bring them to school. And he knew I liked comic books, and me and him were probably the only kids in the whole school who read comics. And he would always bring like old Spider-Man comic books and let me read them. And like one summer, he called me all the time. We talked about comic books, and I went back to school, and his whole family had moved like to Georgia.
Oh,
And
no!
I've tried looking him up online and stuff, but I don't know. I hope he's still out there, and I hope he still enjoys comic books. But like at that point in time, he opened my eyes to a whole set of comics and stuff I didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, my buddies and me, we when I was probably 13 years old, my parents would drop me off at the local store. We only had a couple of stores in our town I grew up in. It was really small. but we had a People's drugstore, and they had a spinner rack in there. So my buddy lived about a mile away, and they would drop me off at his house, and we would walk all the way to the People's so we could just go to that one spinner rack.
It's awesome.
And we would, and this is during the late 80s, early 90s. So we would, that was the heyday of any day of any week, you would go and find something killer,
The good old days.
Sorry, starting to yawn. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've told this before, but we get dropped off. There's a bookstore called Dusty Corner. And we get dropped off at Dusty Corner, and it was awesome. Just digging in boxes, and I didn't even know what I was looking for at that age. I was just like not cool. Whoa! It'd be something. It'd be a big gun and like a babe and stuff like that. I'd be like, this is it.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, it's the new Deadpool. Oh my gosh, I love it.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me then. I was into Aliens and Predator. That was like what I wanted. I've told that story before that like I got into comics from watching the movie Aliens.
Yeah.
And so I was like, at first I was buying a lot of Dark Horse books because Dark Horse had the rights to do Alien and had the rights to Predator. And then I got real heavy into Image, and I was collecting some Marvel and DC too, but I was buying new books from Image and from Dark Horse. Those were who I was buying new books from mostly. And then we started seeing, there's obviously some big names putting out some really cool art from Marvel, Jim Lee and all that. I was buying Jim Lee X-Men #1 came out. I think I bought every single one of those covers to get them all.
Yeah, I did too.
It's all the exact same comic
everybody
book
else.
covers.
Everybody did.
So awesome though. Trey says I need to get some yards and see if I can find some good comics. Yeah, that's a good place. Like, especially if you don't like. A lot of times, Mutt and I, we meet up and go to cons, but we're buying to collect or like finish a run. A lot of times, we're not necessarily buying for like, oh, this one's going to be worth a lot of money one day. We're like buying them for the enjoyment of collecting and reading the comics. So if you don't care about condition, that's a great place to go. It's like yard sales and stuff like that. But we love, at least I think he does. But I love digging in the dollar bins, like digging to find the gold at the bottom of the bin. That's our favorite.
Oh man, that is if I could be anywhere on any day of the week, I'd be about elbow deep up in a dollar bin trying to find some treasures.
Zach says I bought a Judge Dredd versus Alien versus Predator hardback collection a while back. It's freaking fantastic. I bet that is crazy. Oh, whoa! Sean just dropped it in the tweet. Shinobi Sasquatch is fully funded.
Oh man, that's
very
awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool. I'm happy for those guys.
That is fantastic. And you know what? Those guys are hustlers. That's what I like. That's one thing I love about the community. I love people that get out and hustle. And Cal has been hustling like a champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rob has been laying down the ink. It looks wonderful. That's a great book, and I'm really happy for their success.
Yeah. I tweeted out today that I can't wait because there's going to be a day where I'm able to set up a Hero Blood of Patriots, and then I'm going to have like my Lone Wolf and then Lone Wolf Mutt-Man variant cover, and then I'll have Shinobi Sasquatch, and they're all going to be sitting there on top of this like shelf, and I'm just going to start like tears are just going to start slowly rolling down my cheeks into my sweet mustache that I'm going to have. I'll take my long mustache and dry the tears off of my cheek, and it's going to be great. I can't wait for that day.
Everybody sees the art, and the art's crazy good. But Cal is a really, really good writer.
Yeah. Really good, yeah.
And people are going to love the story. He actually, I forgot to mention earlier, he wrote one of the shorts that's in volume 1 of the Lone Wolf anthology, and he's actually helped me. I've got a script called Psychotron.
Oh yeah,
and he helped me polish it up some. So, he's a really good guy, and he's out there helping people and doing cool stuff. So people really need to support him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. There's a couple ideas that I floated past him for something that I'm working with Narwhal, like in the kids table crew or writers room crew. There's a story that he's doing, and I have a character in that story that is actually part of a bigger idea that I have that I'm really excited about. And I sent my kind of basic short synopsis and character bio to Cal, and he had a lot of really like nice things to say about it, and that was a really big deal for me, for Cal to give me that kind of feedback, because that guy can write. He has some incredible ideas. He's just really good in conceptualizing stuff, and so I'm excited. He's going to help me out a little bit with that too. And I can't wait that's going to be something else I'll get started. Maybe one of these days. I have a lot of ideas and not a lot of time to get them done.
I know what you mean. I wish I had more money to throw at artists, and I'd just be like cranking out books all the time.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish. Yeah. Like if I could just become independently wealthy and I didn't have to work, I feel like I could get so much more done in the comics world. Be fantastic. Let's see. Trey says my local comic shop doesn't keep any new comics really anymore unless you have it on a pull list, and that's happening because people aren't buying on pull lists. I think because most of it sucks. Hopefully they stay in business.
A lot of these places have real bad pull list problems. People come in and set the pull list up, and they start getting crappy comics, and they just don't come back.
Yeah. Sean says, my son says Lone Wolf is second only to Lone Star. That's high praise coming from him.
Nice.
Let's see, RT, do you not know of Doug's fantastic book, Lone Wolf? It's the first issue. Has already been funded and shipped now. I'm sure. I think he's just pulling our legs. If only we didn't have to work a real job. That's true, Trey. 100%.
Real jobs are lame.
They're so lame. I'll be honest. I like. There's a lot of days I really do actually like my real job. It's pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to issue 2 and the anthology. I was just pulling Doug's leg. Yep. So Zach is a bit slow tonight. It's all right. We're allowed to be a bit slow every now and then, Zach. I'm a bit slow most nights.
I was gonna say I'm a bit slow every day.
Yeah. Look at that, guys. Look at that corpse's muscles.
I'm alive and I don't even have muscles that good.
Oh man, I know. You gotta know how to get muscles like that. Yeah, so Mutt needs to finish up some of the. He needs to finish. He has this is a good front facing hero, but he has a side and a back shot, because we got to get some. The art over to the guy that does the blockheads. He's going to do a hero blockhead. I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to get that done, and I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, we can get that done and then get it printed off, like color printed on some nice cardstock. Not 100% yet. We got to make sure we can, number one, afford it and get it into the book and everything in time and all these things. But if we can, I want to send that out to everybody, all the physical backers, get a blockhead with their book, and you can pop it out and have their own hero action figure. I thought that'd be really sweet. Man,
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that'll be a big deal too. And it's going to be, and so there needs to be there'll be a Shinobi Sasquatch. There's a Monster MD one I saw.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
We need to get a Lone Wolf blockhead.
Yeah.
You should get on that, Doug. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm horrible at reaching out to people to do things.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'm horrible at it. I'm surprised I've actually made any friends and talked to people online.
Me and Macho ask everybody for everything.
Oh man, I'm really good about asking people to help me because I don't know how to do anything.
Oh wait, Trey's talking to me. He says Mutt-Man can draw the muscles he only wishes he had.
That's right.
Let me tell you something, Trey. You should see me with my shirt off. It is ridiculous.
He has he has the dad bod that all the dads want.
I've got the ultimate dad bod, and I'm not even a dad.
You've got the big bear bod.
Big bear. Macho, are you going to wear your princess crown with your stash like the picture? That's the on Twitter. That was very funny. Very funny, Sean. I did see that picture. And you know what? If we get enough money, I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. That sounded wrong. Not like that. Not like that.
Okay.
Y'all heard it here first. Illegal there, Macho.
I mean, hey, if the money's right, I mean,
hey, ask Macho.
Money's there.
Ask Macho anything. Hashtag ask Macho anything.
No shirts off again. We just talk about taking our shirts off one time.
I know it. I know it. He'll never forget it.
Never
forget it.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to have a friend who was a little bit of a weirdo, and he was a buff little guy. He had some good muscles, and so we would constantly get him to take his shirt off in places. And once,
egg him on.
Yeah, well, he liked to do it because he was, like I said, he was he's a weirdo, But
I got a story for you in a second. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Keep going.
So this guy, we would literally come up with reasons, for him to take his shirt off and walk around places, and we would pay him to do it. So he would do it for meals. So we would take him to Applebee's, and we'd say, "Hey man, we'll pay for your meal if you take your shirt off and walk and do a complete lap through the entire restaurant to the restroom and then back out." And then he would do it.
That's awesome.
He would do it. We'd buy his meal. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish I still knew that guy. That'd be great.
You do know him, I think.
Oh man, is it Jeremy?
No. Do you remember Paul?
Never
mind.
That's okay.
Let's not.
All right. So let me tell you the story about the guy that takes clothes off in my neighborhood. So like 2 houses down from me, there's this older guy. Like he's not. I don't know. He's not that old. Like I'd say he's probably like late 40s or maybe early 50s. Like I think is what he looks like. And he's a large man, but like he's built like a wrestler or something. He's not like overweight or anything. He's just like big and has like a muscle bound or whatever. And we moved in, and it was cold when we moved in, but when it started warming up, we'd see him outside, and he'd like never have a shirt on. And he is like very hairy, but all of his hair is like white, because he's the older guy. Mm-hmm. And he'd never have a shirt on. And then we started seeing him with like very short shorts on, like runner shorts and stuff.
Oh, man.
And the other day, my wife was like, she called me, and I was at work, and I was like, "What's up?" And she's like, "I had to call you because shirtless guy." And she's like, "He now has a different name." And she said that she was walking past, because my daughter likes going on walks. So they were walking the dog, just walking down the street. And she said, shirtless guy was shirtless, but he was wearing a cowboy hat this time. And for his bottoms, all he had on was a purple Speedo. And they walked out in front of like he was in front of the house, like watering his plants or whatever. And
with a hose?
And I don't know. I guess a hose. But anyway, my daughter saw him, and she was like, "Hey, I like your hat. I like your hat." And he said, my wife said it was very awkward, and she was like trying to get Annie to go, but Annie, my daughter, likes for people to acknowledge her when she talks to them. So she's like, "Hey, sir, I like your hat." I like your. And she kept saying it. My wife's trying to drag my daughter out of the way there, and she said it was just this big hairy man in a purple Speedo and a cowboy hat watering his plants, and it was one of the most awkward things she's ever experienced. So. Trey says there's an old guy in my neighborhood that always mows his lawn with his shirt off, even when it's in the fall or whatever. He's like a real life caveman looking dude.
I met this guy through my job, and if you think the clients are like, out there, the staff is just, they're on a whole nother level. But this dude, like, he goes to the gym all the time, and he is like ripped. He won like a weightlifting trophy a couple years ago. And every time we drive through town, he'd go to McDonald's and pull up to the drive-thru, and they'd go, "Yeah, can I help you?" And he goes, "No, I just want to let you know I won this weightlifting trophy." So, and he mounted it to the dash of his car and would drive around. And anytime we went to a window, he'd go, "Hey, see my trophy?" But one day, I'm just sitting there, and I get this text message, and it's him at work, and in the background, Hulk Hogan music is playing. And he jumps in front of the camera and just rips his shirt off, like totally like Hulk Hogan style. And and then he posted it on Facebook and tags me in it.
Oh, aren't you glad?
What a legend, man. That's awesome. Yeah, like crazy people are scary sometimes, but crazy people are also some of the best people.
Yeah, like you, Macho.
Yeah, exactly like me. I've met some great crazy people.
Well, you put that mustache back on, and I'm sure you'll meet some more.
Oh, yeah. I had people ask to take their picture with me in my mustache before.
Oh,
how about that?
I was out with you before with that mustache, and I was amazed at the attention you were getting from the ladies.
That wasn't because of the mustache. No.
The only thing I've ever had happen, and a couple of years ago, I had like a really long hair. It was down to my shoulders, and I had a huge caveman looking beard. And we went to Nashville. I was over there recording music, and we stopped at a gas station, and this guy comes up, and I don't know what name he said, but he was convinced I was a professional wrestler and wanted my autograph and wanted to take pictures. I was like, "Man, I'm not famous. You got me mixed up." He would not. He wouldn't have it.
That's awesome. I'd been like, "Yeah, I'll sign. I'll just let me get something. I'll sign whatever you want me to sign."
I should have said, "Yeah, it's $500 for an autograph."
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you do have a professional wrestler vibe to you, my friend. That's why I was asking you bear wrestling questions.
Well, I've always thought if I could go back in time, what job would I try to do like now? And it would either be, I saw this on Twitter and I wanted to steal it, a bacon test pilot.
Ooh, all right, yeah, sounds great.
I guess you fly around on bacon and eat it. I don't know. Or a professional wrestler. I think being a professional wrestler or a luchador would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, why not be both?
Yeah.
Sean R2D2 says Lone Wolf versus Harry Speedo Cowboy, second story in the upcoming anthology. Oh man.
But instead of them fighting, they could team up.
That's right. Harry Speedo Cowboy. I bet he could do some damage. I don't know how to I'd love to just get a picture of this guy. I mean, not in his Harry Speedo, but just so you guys could see the kind of guy he is. But I don't know how to. That's creepy to drive past and try to take a picture. So
just walk over and take a picture of him.
Yeah, I'll be like, "Hey, give me a pose or something."
Oh, he probably would. If he's out there in his Speedo, he's probably looking for that opportunity.
Yeah. Zach says, I had a crazy friend in high school. We worked our first real job together as busboys at IHOP, and he stabbed me in the gut about half-inch once, but it was my fault. I missed that little Greek SOB. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's
He
the kind of
stabbed
friend.
you in about half an inch into your gut? Jeez. You're lucky you didn't, like, cut your intestines open or something.
That's crazy.
Zach, you're my new favorite guy.
I miss that little Greek SOB. That's so funny.
We got some crazy people up in this thing.
Zach was talking about his mom's motorcycle gang today on Twitter. Said they'd only
Really?
been like one gunfight, I think he said.
Oh my gosh. Mom, are you getting shot at again?
Come on, Mom, stay out of them gunfights.
Oh man.
Quit that yelling, buddy.
Dude. I'm tired.
Let's pack it in. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's finish this out.
Well, I got just about all the drawing I wanted to get done tonight. So
Look, hold on one second. Trey's upset because he says he lost the favorite spot.
well, let's put it this way, Trey. The day you can tell me a story about getting stabbed in the gut and then enjoying it and liking the person,
and missing that guy,
you'll be right back on top. So tell me any of your stabbing stories real quick.
Zach said I threw a bus tub of pancake water on him. I was asking for it. That's so funny.
I would have stabbed you too for that. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh man.
You could have had an aunt that tried to get you to play in traffic when you were like 1 year old. Oh my gosh.
Who did that?
Just trying to kill you, dude.
Trey. He must have been an annoying little kid.
Oh man.
Trey, you're still my favorite, buddy. You're still my number one.
Trey was with us from the beginning.
He was that guy. Hey,
literally, there's anyone else.
Seriously, come on, man. Tell that story.
I mean, so Mutt and I were like, we're gonna make this comic. Let's do a live video. And
first of all, we thought that's just how it worked. You just turned on YouTube and said, "Hey guys, we're on YouTube."
And then people started watching, and nobody was watching ever. And then Trey popped in one day,
out of nowhere, random.
was there from then on, and totally was fired up. Like he'd be literally the only person in the chat. We'd just be talking to Trey over the internet.
That's right. That's right.
But he was with us, man. He believed in us.
Yeah, that's why we call him #1ManFan, and he's been there since literally since the very first day.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a special place in our heart for Trey.
Yeah. I'm gonna name my first dog Trey.
First dog? Oh,
yeah.
I thought I heard you guys were interested in maybe getting a dog.
We've been looking at dogs, man. We've been looking at dogs. So the Mutt-Man's going to get a pet.
So, oh yeah, Sean threw out the #1ManFan. There it is.
Baby.
That's it. So, what kind of dogs do you look at? I thought your beautiful bride couldn't be around.
Well, we do have allergies, kids and us. So we're looking at the allergy-free type dogs.
You need a poodle, man. You need a poodle.
Well, we're looking at the golden doodles.
Yeah.
You know, and
nice.
We're also looking at schnauzers.
Schnauzers.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we're cool, man.
We're thinking about it. One of these days, I'll have me a pooch here on the live stream.
But let me tell you I have a poodle, and he's freaking gonna be 15 years old this fall.
Right.
I love this dog. He's starting to drive me insane. I mean, I love him, but like the thing is, he does things on purpose. I feel like to make us mad, my family and I, and so we slowly starting to like him less and less because of these things he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in perfect health. He's just a jerk. He's just a giant jerk. I mean, he's like 8 pounds, and he just knows how to piss us off. It's insane. But anyway, I'm just saying that poodles live a long time, a long time, and I have no reason to believe he's going to slow down anytime soon. We believe he's probably going to live forever or past both of us. Anyway.
Just to spot you.
Yeah, I think so. That's exactly. I mean, he would. A dog.
I've got two huskies, and they are absolutely insane. They're the goofiest dogs I've ever seen in my life.
Beautiful dogs too.
Oh, I swear they've got so much personality. It's not even funny. I have to keep the door shut here because if I leave the door open and I turn my back, I've got two. One's named Dexter, one's named Grizzly, and we call him Grizz. If I turn my back and the door's open, Grizz will go to my bedroom and hide. And he's not very good at hiding because he's almost the size of a small bear.
Yeah. How much does he weigh?
I'd say he's not as big as Dexter. I'd say they've got to weigh 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah. Oh gosh! Now Sean is promotes the euthanasia of poodles. Bleeding cool. Yeah. Now I don't. I said it. I love that dog. I love him. I'm not going to put him down.
That's not what I heard.
But he's annoying. He's terribly annoying. So I have that I have a poodle, and I also have a Great Pyrenees named King. He's in the other room, down here in the Macho cave, and he would literally be trying to lay on top of me right now if I let him in this room. Like he just thinks he's a giant lap dog, and he weighs 120 pounds. He's enormous.
He is a monster.
He looks like a small polar bear.
Yeah, he does.
Well, see, I said 50 or 60 pounds, but I honestly think that my dog Dexter probably weighs close to 100 pounds, probably.
Yeah. God. I mean, I know huskies can be big. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at that at all.
Well, I'm not completely sure that they're purebred huskies because they look like they might be like part Malamute because a buddy of mine,
Malamutes are real big.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's got a husky, and he's half the size of mine.
Yeah, you might have something like that too. And they look similar, very similar. Zach says, Macho, you need a Vietnamese potbelly pig. They're hypoallergenic, don't shed, and stay fairly small. Yeah, I'd totally have a potbelly pig. My sister actually had a potbelly pig, and it was pretty cool.
That's weird.
For a very short amount of time. Trey says, I have a hedgehog, and they're low maintenance, and they are neat to watch. I've never had a hedgehog. My daughter wants a snake, and I'm 100% against snakes in my house.
I agree with you there.
Like, if there's gonna be a snake in my house, it's gonna be dead or stuffed or something like that. Ain't not gonna be any live snakes in my house.
Yeah, if there's a snake in my house, there's gonna be bullet holes all in it, and then wherever it was
at, and the floor and the wall. Yeah. Nah. We've made a hard and fast rule of no more living things in our house. No more living things are allowed in our house. Like fish doesn't work. No, I don't do fish. Reptiles are cool. They just require so much maintenance. And reptiles with no legs, snakes, are not allowed. I saw, man, I didn't share this, but I saw almost ran over a rattlesnake the other day.
They're bad.
At work. Like I went right past it, probably 6 or 8 inches away from its head, and it didn't move at all when I rode past it. But I was with this guy from Sweden that was hilarious, and he like screamed and stopped, and I was like, what's going on? And I turned around, and it's because I rode past a rattlesnake. He stopped. He was going to ride over it. It was pretty cool though. It was a neat little rattlesnake. I'll try to post a picture up on Twitter later.
These guys in the chat are cracking me up tonight.
I don't like snakes either. Kind of terrified of anything with less legs than I have. That's pretty good.
All right, fellas. Hey, fellas, I gotta shut it down. As much fun as I'm having, I gotta shut it down.
Thanks everybody for in the chat. Zach, Sean, as always. Please don't report us to Bleeding Cool. Trey, #1ManFan. We appreciate you, buddy. And everybody else out there, Abe, if you're listening, who else do we have? Man, so many Septinov, obviously, he's our brother. Vosto Vlad, thank you. Cross, Rick is probably gone by now.
Oh, he's way gone.
Long gone. He's way gone. Anyway, thank you guys. Thanks, Doug, for hanging out. I always love talking to you, man.
I always love talking to you guys.
We're gonna have you on, man. You'll be back again soon.
Yeah. Before we leave, I want to just give a little shout out to Hero Blood of Patriots on Indiegogo. Everybody that's in the chat knows about it. If anybody's watching this outside of the live chat, because there's about 500 people that are live right now, so hopefully somebody will come and watch this later. Yeah, go check out Hero, man. we're working hard to create a really cool patriotic sci-fi adventure, and this is something we've been working on for a while. We got a good story. I'm putting the art together now. We're trying to get funded for $3,800. That's just to get it printed. The next stage up will be $5,500. That'll be our next stretch goal, and that will be to get it colored by the one and only Vegas Day, who did the cover for us. And then beyond that, we're going to just do different things which will make the product better. So this first round that we're doing with Hero, the first book, is going to be as excellent as we can possibly make it, so that we can make more. So you guys get in on this early, join up with what we're trying to do, and it's going to be a really fun and really entertain, just a fun comic. So you guys are going to love it. But that's all I got.
Yeah. Sweet. Right. You got anything to say, Doug?
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Legends of the Lone Wolf is coming.
Yep.
No drop date yet, but it's going to be soon.
Yep. Any day now. Any day,
right.
week, sometime this year.
Sometime this year. All
right.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. See
Peace.
you, Sean.